Week 4 of the 2012 legislative session began with a bang as working families from all backgrounds came together for a packed press conference just before the Senate headed to the floor to debate the now infamous prison privatization scheme. Penny Reeder, a corrections officer, K.T. Caldwell, a teacher from Seminole County, and Lori Goodwin, a deputy sheriff, joined Senators Maria Sachs, a Democrat, and Senator Mike Fasano, a senior Republican, to decry the shady deal.
This is not about a Republican issue or a Democratic issue. This is just bad policy at the wrong time that affect thousands of people. But make no mistake that if this bill passes, two companies that have spent a lot of money, a lot of time, and donated a lot of money to the political organizations and campaigns throughout the state will be the only benefactor of this whole bill that's being pushed right now. And when you think about privatizing, you're privatizing public safety. Who would ever thought that? Privatizing public safety, putting people at risk, putting our correctional office at risk, just so two major companies that have donated hundreds of thousands of dollars will benefit.
As long as we have citizens who hear about this and know that we want to sell our prisons and our prisoners to the highest bidder, you can count me out. And you can count the people of Palm Beach County out. We will never go along with the privatization of our prisons.
After the press conference, both senators took to the floor in an attempt to bring to light the true costs of the measure and to expose the sneaky way the bill was being rammed through the process. Following over 90 minutes of blistering questions, Senate President Mike Herodopoulos, fearing he did not have the votes to pass the measure, temporarily postponed the bill. 24 hours later, the bill was up again, but once again was postponed, leaving the fate of over 3,800 corrections officers and countless communities hanging in limbo. Later on Wednesday, the leadership in the Senate stripped Senator Fasano of his chairmanship of the Senate Subcommittee on Criminal and Civil Justice Appropriations due to his refusal to stand down and allow the passage of Senate Bill 2038. Most Capitol watchers agree that this move was also taken to send a warning to other Republicans who are concerned about President Herodopoulos' privatization scheme. On Thursday, doctors, nurses, and other healthcare workers were joined by teachers and other education professionals who traveled to the state capitol to deliver the message that our healthcare workers and educators won't stand for Governor Rick Scott's false choice of robbing Medicaid to begin replenishing cuts to public education. Advocates instead called on lawmakers to support the Fair Economy Act, a package of legislation which closes big business tax loopholes and special interest exemptions to generate the revenue Florida needs to make government work better and more efficient. Healthcare workers and educators held a rope between them to symbolize the tug of war Governor Scott is trying to cause between healthcare and education, before dropping the rope in a show of solidarity between health and education and in support of the Fair Economy Act.
Progress Florida gathered, along with many of us, thousands and thousands of signatures. One, to reject Rick Scott's proposal to cut education, to cut health care, and thousands of signatures in favor of the fair economy. And we want to hand these over to our House and Senate today and go on the record that Florida objects to this tug-of-war as we pick the rope back up. We're not going to do it. Health care against education is not going to happen.
There was some good news legislatively as the Senate Commerce and Tourism Committee voted unanimously in support of Senate Bill 1440. This legislation would allow victims of domestic violence who are forced to leave their jobs to avoid their attackers to qualify for unemployment insurance benefits while seeking new employment. The measure, part of the unemployment modernization effort the Florida AFL-CIO has pursued for almost 7 years, will help these victims. The only opposition was from the Florida Retail Federation, who has long opposed the measure. With time running out, the bill has a long way to go, so be prepared for action alerts in the days ahead on this issue. We will see you next week with another legislative update. Solidarity.